Alright, guys, this is the evening shit talk show with
Hey,
Ronnie
everybody.
and Ariel.
Hi, everybody.
This is our podcast, Ronnie Farmer Nation Podcast. Shout out to my buddies at the railroad, all of y'all on BNSF side and UP side. How these guys, they work. People think it's easy work, them getting on the trains and stuff, and it's not. They have to get off and flip switches, and it's not easy work doing what they do. So the people that think the railroad people have an easy job, they don't.
No, they're out there in the elements.
They're out there in snow, cold, raining, thunder. They don't care. These guys are out there. And the train masters, you know, they work hard too. So my hats off to them because they risk their lives doing stuff. Now, we were talking about ideas the other night, but talking about like what we wanted to talk about on here.
Mm-hmm.
You brought up.
What did I bring up?
Some sexual, like blowjobs and shit.
Did I?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Well, I mean, guys do like blowjobs, but there's also women like the
Oral.
on them too.
Are we really going to talk about this tonight?
Yeah. I mean, why not?
Okay, we're going to talk about sex again. Because we did a segment on sex already.
Well, we didn't cover like all the aspects of sex.
Well, I'm sure our listeners are well aware of the different things you can do with sex.
I mean, I'll tell y'all listeners that there is, and it's been proven, and I've proven it before too. If you turn the cool air off in your house and it gets really hot, you could go. Don't get too stuffy, because if you get too stuffy and you get too hot, you may pass out during sex. But if you turn the heat down just enough to where it's a little stuffy in your house, you could probably go an hour or 2 hours at the tops without coming. Now that is a proven fact that you can do that.
Yeah, I'm guessing you experimented with this.
We did one day.
Was that me?
Yeah, it was hot as hell in this house. We couldn't go. It went like 2 hours.
Yeah, I don't recommend doing it when it's hot. It's not. Well,
But yes,
it's fun,
you can.
But it's not fun.
It is a proven fact that if you turn down the heat or turn off the AC and it gets hot in your house, you can, because the sweat, as much as you're sweating, it stops the climax from a guy.
And a girl.
Yeah, it can stop both sex from coming.
Like I said, it's fun, but it's not fun.
Actually, a doctor proved that scientifically a couple of years ago, that the heat element can stop a person from coming. Yeah.
I can believe that. If I get too hot, it's just nope. Ain't happening tonight.
And also, people who vape, it is a scientific fact, after 5 or 10 years of vaping, your lungs can turn into popcorn lungs. Because of the vape coils can turn your lungs into popcorn lungs. Which is like a popcorn popped all the way down your lungs. So if you're thinking about vaping, don't vape. That shit is dangerous. Even cigarettes are dangerous, and we smoke.
Yeah, but we're gonna quit, right, babe? We made a pact.
Yeah.
We made a pact.
Yes, I know. Smoking is bad. Even though we do it.
If you're
Also,
not a smoker and you're stressed out and you're thinking about smoking, don't take it up.
Also, if you drink Monsters, the chemicals in a Monster are very, like that video you sent me about the guy pouring it on the workbench. That's a green one.
Yeah, that's the regular Monster.
And those green ones have more chemicals in them than the average fruit one does.
Which also can in turn make you have a lower sperm count and in some cases make you impotent.
Well, and also Monsters can make you have breathing problems after a few years of drinking them. I started drinking Monsters in 2007, and I developed a slow drip cough in 2015. So that cough, because I was drinking them every day, has caused me to have a cough every year from drinking those things. Now, I've stopped drinking Monsters because they are very bad for your health, as well as liver. They can cause liver cancer, or liver disease, not cancer. Well, it could cause cancer too, because it can turn into cancer.
Yeah, not only that, but people with irregular heartbeats such as myself.
Yep.
It's not good for you because of how much...
If you have a heart problem, I wouldn't suggest drinking an energy drink because it can kill you.
Or give you really, really bad chest pains I've experienced, so I don't drink them anymore.
People who dip. I had a friend after 40 years of dipping, he has stopped because he's got holes in his lip from dipping.
Can cause gum cancer.
So when you think about dipping, think of all those health problems you're going to have later down the road. But anyway, smoking, dipping, drinking Monsters, drinking beer, it's all factors to your health.
Actually, one beer a day can keep the doctor away because of the yeast in it.
Yeah. But, and if you're thinking about, I wouldn't suggest it because it's illegal to do this kind of stuff. If you're thinking about doing hard drugs, I wouldn't. I have never done hard drugs. I won't do drugs. But it can take 10 years off your life every time you do a hard drug. Which means if you do it for 40 or 50 years, you lost 50 years of your life. And that is a proven fact that it takes 10 years off your life.
I mean, just if you're curious, Google people that's done meth, what they started out, what they looked like before they started doing it, and then after only a few years of doing it, they don't look the same.
There was a picture on the, I can't remember where I saw it the other day. They showed this lady who had done meth in 1970 until 2005, and her face was all ate up. Her skin was all ate up. She had holes in her cheeks from the meth. So when you think about, if there's people out there that do it, think about that, how it can affect your health later on down the road, because it will affect your health, and it also can get you incarcerated.
Changes your appearance of what you look like.
Yep.
Some people that have been on meth for years look like walking skeletons. I'm not even joking about that.
And there's also people that drink Bang, which I don't see a problem with it, because it's what is that stuff called?
Creatine?
It's creatine, but when you start drinking 3 or 4 creatines in a day, like 3 or 4 bangs, that's when you start having lighthead. You're only supposed to drink 1 a day.
And that's right before you go to work out.
Yeah, because the creatine is for you working out, lifting weights, running, that sort of stuff. It's not for this, drinking every once in a while. I mean, there's people that I know that drink 3 or 4 a day. And some of them have gone to the ER, myself included. They've gone to the ER because I had chest pains after drinking.
Yeah, that was not a fun night.
Yeah, but I was acting loopy that night.
You didn't remember anything from that night.
No.
This was scary. He wasn't feeling so well. He went to lay down. He passed out on the floor in the living room. Woke up about 10 minutes later, and he looked at me confused, like, how did I even get here? And I said, You don't remember? And he said, no. And I was like, we're going to take you to the ER. There's something wrong.
Oh, before this live show ends, because we got 2 minutes left, this is sponsored by us, iHeartRadio, Google Podcast, Castbox, Apple Podcasts, Muddy Creek Records, Amuse, Spotify, and yeah.
I want to thank everybody for listening.
Yes, thank you all so much for listening to our shows.
If you have a topic you want us to discuss,
email us on Instagram, or leave a comment on YouTube. Something, so we know what to talk about on the next one, because we're looking to interact with our friends, and we're looking to talk about topics y'all want to hear about.
Cover whatever you guys want us to cover.
And if you're on Instagram, go to Ronnie Farmer Nation on Instagram, and you want to put yours on there?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Ariel Jordan's on Instagram, and just look us up. If you want to send us a message on there, just go ahead and send us a message. We'll talk about it in our next show.
Again, thank you everybody for listening.
Yeah.